First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, right? May the Heavenly Father, love and mercy truly endure forever for Israel, right? It's your brother Yerumya from the Sakari Philly set to do a quick sit down, right, on meekness and humble, right? Part 2, right? So what's going on in Israel, right? You know, um, since starting to get deeper and walk in the truth, just seeing in Israel, right, in social media, in person, just speaking about Israel, like, right, those who know that they're Israel and walking that way, right? So I'm speaking specifically on that right now, but it seems to be a me, myself, and I type of spirit that seem to be in Israel, right? Not being able to take correction, um, you know, just a real swollen head type of situation, right? Really just feeling that that we're needed so much, and in reality, like, God don't need nobody. Like, he never needed nobody. I mean, like, he didn't create us because he actually needed us, right? It's actually, we have it backwards. I mean, and I understand, to just put this out there, I understand, coming to the truth, so that you're not a nasty, filthy rag anymore, and that you change, and that you been corrected, and you walking in the light. I understand that, and you look at yourself and hold yourself to a higher standard, and even look at yourself as a better person than what you was. I understand that, and that's fine. But to have again, this me, myself, and I type of spirit that it's pretty big in Israel. You know, that's not going to help us as a people, right? And on the comment, it don't help you individually. So I'm gonna go into some of these scriptures, because at the end of the day, you know, I mean, again, the Lord doesn't need you, right? You can be a part of a chosen line, but the Lord doesn't need you, right? Um, the book of Exodus, chapter 32 and verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Verse 10. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them. Right? So the Lord was going to kill the chosen people, right? So you can be chosen, but you can be chosen to be dead. Like, you can be have been chosen to understand who you are, be chosen to walk, upright for a dispensation of time, just to end up dying, before the credits start rolling, right? Um, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, right? And I will make of thee a great nation, right? So I'm gonna hold on to that real quick and go here. Right? Same thing with the Pharisees, right? And the Pharisees, when they was talking to the Messiah. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 9. And think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. Right? So the Lord can do what he wants. Like, he can turn these rocks and turn them into Israelites. He can do whatever he want to do. Like, we really need to understand that, we can be here today and gone tomorrow. We can have wisdom today and be worse than some of these, dope things that's, on drugs and pills that's going around like zombies out of their mind. Like, we can be here today and have the oil today and then lose the oil tomorrow, right? So we need to keep that in mind and always daily, check ourselves, right? You know what I mean? And be open for, for for critiqueness, when it's coming from actually loved ones, right? Whether or not if they're blood or not. Let me hold this. Let me go back to Exodus chapter 32 and verse 10. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make I will make of thee a great nation. So the Lord was going to kill Israel and restart it again through Moses' seed, right? So people say, oh, well, Moses was, such a, he was completely, above everybody, and at this high status. To an extent, yeah. But at the end of the day, the Lord didn't need Moses, because the Lord was going to kill Moses when he didn't cut the foreskin off of his kid, right? Exodus 4 and 24, and it came to pass by the way in the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. So the Lord was going to kill Moses at one point, right? And he had Moses die and didn't lead the children of Israel into the land, right? He had a Ephraimite brother, Joseph, right? Do it. Slakia, not Joseph, Joshua, right? Had Joshua do it. See that? So, yeah, this whole notion, that I'm better and all this and that, brothers and sisters really need to daily, look at and view and check themselves. Because everybody has a mindset, that I'm this, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, I got this wisdom now. I done read a couple books, I done studied, I learned a couple new big words and all this and that. I'm gonna bring this out. This first Corinthians chapter 1, this First Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1, in the NLT, right? Now regarding your question about food that has been offered to idols, yes, we know that we all have knowledge, right, about this issue, right? So, some brothers may have a little bit more knowledge about an issue than another brother do. That doesn't mean that brother's better, right? But while knowledge makes us feel important, it is love that strengthens the church. The church meaning the body, meaning the family, right? The brothers, the sisters, right? That's trying to walk in Hamashiach, right? So it's actually the love and humility, that we have with each other that strengthens each other. Because even if I have a certain level of knowledge more than a brother, I what benefit is it to that brother to put him down based upon the knowledge that I have more that I was given, actually. That I was given more than him. What point is it to put this brother down instead of trying to build him up, and strengthen him in areas that he may actually be even stronger than me? But instead to just put him down because he lacked as much wisdom than I was given, right? This First Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1 in the NIV, right? Now about food sacrificed to idols, we know that we all possess knowledge, but knowledge puffeth up, while love builds up, right? And that's what we need to have. We need to have more love, patience, and humility for each other, and a level of compassion for each other, instead of trying to be like I think it was Stewie off of Mad TV. Look what I can do. Look how much I know, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, like a lot of people is already kind of pompous people in the world. So now, like, you get even more knowledge. The Lord giving you more knowledge of this wisdom and truth, right? Living water. So now you even more pompous than you was even in the world. Like, you didn't fully furnish yourself. Like, you didn't completely burn all that away, right? Let me go here, right? So at the end of the day, everything that we have, it comes from the Lord, right? Wisdom, wealth, right? Status, you know what I mean, in the world, whatever type of status, name, whatever, that we have, everything comes from the Lord, right? Money, children, everything comes from the Lord, right? And I mean, we need to understand that. I mean, and understand that we didn't obtain it ourselves. I mean, even if we read multiple books, I mean, done watch multiple videos, got plenty of breakdowns, plenty of precepts. Like, we need to understand that all of it came from the Lord. I mean, and give credit and honor to Him, not just in the beginning of a video, but actually, doing it through our actions and in our walk. You know what I mean? Because it's that way, so we can let His light. It's not our light. You know what I mean? Because we're really pieces of garbage, right? So we can let His light be shined and seen through the world, right? The book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 21, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh have taken away. Right? Job was talking about his kids. Like, this is when Yahweh done basically put Satan against him to touch everything that was in Job life, except actually his actual life. Right? So, he's losing everything. He's losing his kids. He's seeing his wealth, through his animals being lost. Right? I'm gonna read that part again. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh have taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh, right? So he still gave all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, right? In this bad time, I mean, no matter if it was he was up or down, like, I mean, like, he gave all credit and honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, right? I mean, and he acknowledged that he was the one that gave it to him. So all he did is take away what he done gave, right? So people need to understand that also is linked with wisdom. I mean, like we not obtaining this wisdom off our own merits, right? We need to keep that in mind, right? I mean, brothers and sisters, that we'll be quick to harshly deal with each other, I mean, and give harsh judgment to each other. But then when it's time for us to be judged, then we want people to be equal. We want people to be fair. We want to have a little bit of love, tender, and mercy when it comes time for us to be judged. But then we don't want to show that same love, tender, and mercy when it comes to judging our own people, right? I mean, but the Lord already said in Matthew, the same judgment that you give, that's the same judgment that's going to be given to you, right? So if you got a level of love and compassion and judging somebody, correctly, I mean, with a decent level of love and compassion, I mean, so Lord willing, you can receive that same love and judgment, right, and compassion when it comes to when you're being judged. But then people get, oh, I mean, why is it me? Why am I being judged hard? I mean, but we need to think, so when we judge people harshly, when we're in the judge seat. I mean, so it's all a full circle. It's a ring, right? The Lord said He likened His judgment to a ring, so it all comes back around, right? But let me go here. The book of Psalms, chapter 25 and verse 9. The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his ways. It's not talking about a brother who's extra cocky, right? Yeah, I mean a sister who's extra cocky. Well, really, we know that the brothers is set up to be set up to be the kings and to be the elect, right? The elect as the 144, right? So yeah, I mean, just mainly talking about these brothers. I mean, even though it's a lot of cockiness that you see in with our sisters in Israel too, but yeah, I mean, mainly starting with our men. I mean that we need to humble ourselves and walk with this level of humility that the Messiah showed when he walked this earth. Yeah, I mean, because he said be he wanted us to be followers of him, right? Paul told us to be followers of Hamashiach, right? So we're supposed to be followers of him. I mean, and the groundwork that he set when he walked this earth is that he had compassion and love, right, for his brothers and sisters. He wasn't, just quick to, flex on how much that he may have over them, riches, or I mean, everybody post pictures of them being up. You've even seen in Israel. I mean, and that's okay for you to post pictures, but to level of seeing brothers post pictures of them stunting and stuff like that over people is similar to seeing, yeah, I mean, Floyd Mayweather when he stacked up shoes, saying like, I was bored at 4 a.m. so I went on and brought some shoes and had shoes stocked up, and a disclaimer. I mean, there's not nothing wrong with having multiple pairs of shoes. It's not nothing wrong with taking pictures, and being comfortable, right? I mean, but everything has to be done with a mindset of decency and looking at always lifting up the Heavenly Father, right? And instead of trying to lift up yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, we all have to understand, yeah, I mean, that we ain't nobody, right? We have to understand that. I mean, and actually, like it helps me to be more comfortable in this truth with a mindset of that I'm not nobody, right? I mean, like I'm just a dude that the Lord, decided to use, and hopefully he decides to use all the way to the finish line, because he can stop using me if he wants to. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like brothers need to keep that that mindset. You go here. Right, Colossians chapter 3 and verse 12 in the NIV. Therefore, as the Most High's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Right, we need to have a level of compassion for each other. This what we need to have, and it's not new, right? The Messiah taught this the same thing, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion, right? Because the Messiah was seeing the hurt on the people. He was seeing, how sickly they were, physically and mentally, right? You know what I mean? And some of them that he probably healed probably went back to doing wickedness, right? But he just seen he just had a level of compassion on our people. Yeah, I mean, because they was just in such a destroyed state, just looking at them, right? I'm gonna read that verse again. The book of Matthew chapter 9 and verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd, right? Right. And this is our leader, the Messiah. So we need to walk and have the same mindset that he had, right? Not our own mindset, not our worldly mindset, just a little bit tweaked up on the righteousness side, but we need to have the mindset that he had, right? I'm gonna go here. Because at the end of the day though, for real, like, you know, I mean, you know, even with as much compliments that I have gotten, you know, prior to joining the camp, prior to you know, completely walking upright to the best of my abilities, right? I done had people give me multiple compliments, right? My own blood brothers was asking me about Bible scriptures, you know, I mean, and understanding on scriptures. I had people that would say, oh, well, you know, I mean, like, you're loyal, you know, I mean, like, you seem disciplined, I mean, it seemed like, you know, you have all these different qualities and stuff like that. But the greatest thing that I ever heard someone say about me, and people say it, I heard it said about me, all praises multiple times, is that I have a level of humbleness, right? You know what I mean? So even though sometimes I heard people say it in a way of trying to, you know, put it in a joking fashion or something like that, but at the end of the day, like, I take a level of pride in it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, all of these qualities, knowing precepts and knowing breakdowns and, you know, this or that, or retaining, you know, knowledge on where scriptures is at, all of that can be learned. Most High God will, if he wants to put that in you, right? But a level of having humility and humbleness, right? Brothers need to already have that installed in them, right? That's really hard to learn, how to be humble, because you can try to learn how to start being humble, but then you start reverting back to yourself because you feel that you're not being you. You feel that you're being something contrary to what you know that you are, right? So even like one of my officers, right, Pakiele, he would say to me, you know, that you know, that I'm a humble brother, one of the humblest brothers in Israel. You know, just saying that kind of on a joking matter. Like, of course, obviously all in love, but at the end of the day, like I really take that as a high compliment. You know what I mean? Because looking at Israel in this time that I've been trying to walk upright, it's not something that's, you know, esteemed that high, right? Other attributes are esteemed higher than having a level of humility. You know what I mean? But, you know, be it as it may, to use a line that chief priest use, you know, I mean, I'm not nobody, you ain't nobody. This brother getting in that Dodge right there, he ain't nobody, right? This car making the turn, right? You know what I mean? And it ain't even the green light. He ain't nobody. You see that? So at the end of the day, the Lord don't need none of us, right? He, you know what I mean? Like, this is why Christ said that, when he was saying the Lord's Prayer, he said, hallowed be thy name, right? You know what I mean? Because that's all it is. Like, hallowed, like even speaking into a hallway and you can only just hear your own voice. I mean, because he is the heavenly Father. He's God all by himself. He don't need you. He can take the same spirit that's in you and raise up a 2-year-old to do the work that you was meant to do, or what you thought you was meant to do, right? So we need to always keep that in mind. I'm gonna end with this though. The book of Job, chapter 7 and verse 17. What is a man that thou shouldest magnify him? Right? Who are you? Right? Who are you? Right? You're nothing but dust that's going to go back to the ground. Right? And brothers and sisters need to keep that mindset. Like, I mean, we're really not as special as we perceive ourselves to be. Right? We're only special because of the spirit that the Heavenly Father put in us, which is his spirit. So all praises be due to him through his spirit that's in us, right? Not us just carrying the spirit. Right? I'm gonna read it again. The book of Job, chapter 7 and verse 17. What is a man that thou shouldest magnify him, and that thou shouldest set thy heart upon him? Right? Who is a man that I should just start magnifying him and just set my mind, you know, on how great this particular brother or sister is, right? And it's all good, you know, it's all good to give, you know, brothers and sisters credit, you know, so-called, like how they say, give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? Give praise where praise is due. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You know, but we don't need to man worship, like, you know, like people are the Heavenly Father walking in the flesh, right? You know what I mean? And we don't need to exalt ourselves as we do in Israel, right? We need to have the same mindset that that we need to have the same mindset that Yahweh Shai had when he walked this earth, right? Which is meekness and humbleness and compassion on his own people, right? Not that I have more level of wisdom on you. You know what I mean? Like, you need to get up on my level, right? And with that, I want to, you know, thank the Heavenly Father from leading me out of darkness into his marvelous light, right? And may the Heavenly Father love and mercy truly endure forever for Israel. I mean, all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High God through Yahweh Shah, right? And you know, I just want to say shalom.